Chris?
Well, good morning. All right, it's a chamber breakfast. Good morning. Thanks for being with us. It's nice to see you live and in person. I want to join Ben in thanking Teresa White, our outgoing chair. Teresa and I have been, feels like in a foxhole for the last 2 years. And Teresa, your leadership has been incredible, and we appreciate you so much. And Ben, we're excited to work with you. Ben and I have been friends for 100 years. Leadership Georgia, best class ever. His heart for this chamber and his family's heart for this chamber knows no match. So we're excited for what's, as Ben said, it's going to be a busy year. It's going to be a consequential year politically and economically and for your businesses. But as I stand here, January of 2022, please hear me clearly say this. The state of Georgia business this morning is strong and it is resilient, thanks to all of you. Now, we spent all of 2021, as Teresa said, traveling the state, talking to our elected leaders, our business leaders, about what we need to do to continue to be a prosperous state. And you told us there were 3 things that we needed to focus on in 2022 and beyond. And I want to unpack those quickly for you this morning. The first is that we need to continue to focus on economic innovation and diversification. How we help our minority small businesses be more successful, how we get our high school students and college students to create more businesses in our state, how we have more competitions for entrepreneurs like my hometown of Fitzgerald's Flex program. We also need more innovative policy solutions like what Lieutenant Governor Duncan has championed the last few years, these regulatory sandboxes, so that we can recruit industries of the future, new Georgia economy companies here, whether they be in the Internet of Things or electric mobility or lights out manufacturing. We want all of those companies to come here. We also need to help Georgia businesses that have been here. We need to protect them so they can continue to grow. Protect them from things like frivolous lawsuits by passing apportionment and premises liability protection. And we also need to focus on growing our research and development in the state by supporting the Georgia Research Alliance and our research universities. So those companies, to be successful, also need us to have an infrastructure of the future. Now, Ben told you, and you guys know this, senators, you know we're all in on freight and logistics, but infrastructure is much larger than that in the new Georgia economy. Where are my public service commissioners at? Bubba, Tim, I see you guys, Fitz, Jason, Tricia. Thank you all for being with us. Thank you for what you do, particularly as we help continue to grow broadband access. And let me say this, within the last 2 years, over 200,000 more Georgians have access to broadband than had it before, thanks to the members of the General Assembly and our congressional delegation and our private partners. That infrastructure of the future also means that we finish Plant Vogel and we continue to improve our electric grid and diversify our electrical outputs in this state so you can plug in all those electric vehicles anywhere in the state that you want to go. And finally, from an infrastructure standpoint, I want to challenge you today to think differently about infrastructure from this perspective. We saw during COVID-19 how critically important and essential our healthcare system was in this state for our lives and our livelihoods. And we believe that instead of thinking of healthcare as a service, we ought to think of it as infrastructure, which means that we help fund, y'all can applaud for that. That's my hospital people, by the way. That we find ways to fund rural health care and that we help our healthcare systems address a workforce shortage that will total 122,000 in the next 2 years. Now, I know what some of you are saying, I got workforce shortages too. Well, that's the third part of this. No matter what company I talk to, what community I go to, no matter where we are in this country, we have a labor shortage right now. That's not unique. What is unique is that in Georgia, public and private partners working together with members of the General Assembly and our educators, we will win the war for talent. That's the big difference out there. And so here's how we're going to do that. First of all, businesses are going to keep doing what they've been doing, raising wages, being more flexible, better benefits. But guys, here's the little secret. We told you 3 years ago that there was a workforce shortage. The Georgia Chamber Foundation research said for every 3 openings in Georgia, there was only 1 person looking for work. And that's the same as it is fourth quarter of 2021. So how do we fix that? Well, we help get people that aren't working back into the workforce, those that have been incarcerated, those with disabilities. We stand with Speaker Ralston when we deal with the mental health issues of our state to help those men and women get back to work. We reform federal visa immigration laws to help our farmers and our tech workers. We work with our colleges, our universities, our K-12 systems to align our career pathways. And we also make sure that our workplaces are safe. Governor Kemp, we stand with you, Attorney General Carr, members of the General Assembly, Mayor Dickens, as we fight crime, fight gang activity, and fight human trafficking in our state. And we also deal with the growing issue of workforce housing in every community in this state. So to start those conversations, today we're releasing this report called Winning the War for Talent. You can QR code that and download it this morning. It's a starting point. It has recommendations for members of the General Assembly. It has recommendations for businesses, resources. But know that we are committed to winning this war for talent, and we're going to be focused on it from now on. It's part of our DNA. Here's the good news. McKinsey, our friends, tell us that if we can have infrastructure of the future, diversify the economy, and deal with this war for talent, that we can grow Georgia's GDP by 400,000 new jobs and $70 billion a year worth of new investment into our GDP. So, how are we going to do that? We're going to do it like we've always done it in this state, by working together. Our inclusivity networks of the Georgia Chamber have been critical for our success, and we have so many of our local chamber partners with us here today that make up our federation, 161 chambers. Thank you for what you do and the work you do at the local level every day. You make such a difference, and we're proud to work with you. We've opened offices in Tifton and Brunswick to give voices to businesses and chambers in those parts of the state. We'll release our Rural Renaissance report here in a few weeks with more policy recommendations, as we always do. We were humbled to be able to work with the Atlanta Black Chambers and our friends at the Georgia Hispanic Chamber to make sure that their voices are heard when we have these important policy discussions. And today I'm happy to announce a new network. Working with our non-Atlanta MSAs, we're today announcing the creation of the Hub Chamber Council. We're going to work with these 11 dynamic chambers of commerce to help grow their economies, to solidify their positions as economic hubs in their regions by working with them on local, state, and federal policy. So we're excited to work with you guys and to have a whole new chapter of partnerships. Those are all critical. But here's the other unique thing about why this economy and why the business community of this state is so strong and why we're thriving and we've come out of this recession so quickly. It's because unique to Georgia is our ability to work between the business community and government. Now, let me tell you, I talk to my peers all over the country. They don't have the same relationships that we have. They're very envious of us here in Georgia. And so I want to personally thank the members of all of our elected officials at the local, state level, our constitutional officers, and particularly the three men you're going to hear from next, Governor Kemp, Lieutenant Governor Duncan, and Speaker Ralston. They are the glue that holds this together, and they have been the leadership that we need to get us through a recession, to recover as quickly as we can, and to continue to thrive and have an incredibly optimistic economic future. I and the team at the Georgia Chamber look forward to serving you again next year. It is our work of our lives, and we're humbled by it. But thank you for what you did, and to our elected leaders, thank you for the incredible partnerships. God bless.